The public participation that was held at the Bomas of Kenya yesterday with an intention to gather public opinion on the impeachment of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua turned out to voice the voice of many Kenyans who went and took onto the streets, and those who could not even take to the streets but had the opportunity to speak yesterday at the Bomas. And they said in unison, if you are impeaching Gachagua, then you also have to impeach Ruto. And there's the famous term that was coined, Kufa Dereva, Kufa Abiria. Now, there is one thing that happened and was so uncalled for that we have to condemn in the strongest terms possible. And Kenya, we really have a long way to go. I've seen Ogobina speak on this. I've seen a couple of content creators speak on this. And I, as Ahmed Khalif, I'm also adding my weight unto these, saying and condemning on the strongest terms possible what happened to Morara Kebaso yesterday at the Bomas. If everyone was being given an opportunity to communicate their views, then why were you denying Morara Kebaso the microphone to speak? TJ Kajwang, the MP, that was so uncalled for. Then you are celebrating when Morara Kebaso was being attacked. Then even another leader comes and says that if you are not invited in any gathering, you should not be there. But remember, this was not just any gathering. What was it? Public participation. And you have to accommodate every idea, whether you are for or against it. Kenyans, look this through the lens, look this through your third eye, and you'll realize things are heading south. You might not just know how many billions or millions on the list are being looted when this conflict is happening. Ask yourself, why has it never occurred to you that there is no any particular time that the government or the regime has ever been interested in conducting a public participation like the one that happened yesterday at the Bomas of Kenya? Then why were they able to champion these that they did yesterday at the Bomas of Kenya? You should open your eyes wide open. Stop being so myopic in terms of looking at political issues. We are trying to fight with a regime that is so insensitive of how its citizens are supposed to live. And Morara Kebaso has been doing nothing else other than doing accountability, making sure that the government delivers to the promises, not occasioning projects that they very know well are cash cow projects. Projects that will loot taxpayers' money from the public coffers. Oh, but trust me, what doesn't kill you makes you strong. Morara Kebaso, know this, we are behind you. You've proved that you are a threat to the state. Be encouraged. It means whatever you've been doing through your vampire diaries has been touching the core, has been touching the sensitive part of the state. And therefore, continue injecting if that's what makes them behave that way. If they like, let them come and disalive each and every member who will be talking against the government. We need accountability. We pay taxes on a daily basis. Therefore, if you are impeaching Gachagua, then also impeach Ruto, who is the most corrupt individual, the deceiver of deceivers. We cannot be living in a nation like that is like it's constitutionless. We have a constitution, yet it is not being followed. The freedom of expression, what happened to it? Why can't you be so accommodative? If somebody's ideologies are not rhyming with yours, does it mean that he's wrong? Does it mean that you are right? Oh, we have a long way to go. I was so pissed when I looked at that video, that footage. And you get some youth are there celebrating. After being paid how much? For how long are you going to survive with that 500,000 bob? Even if it was 20,000 that you were paid for you to behave the way you behaved. And right now, we see one of the people who was on the forefront fighting for the Ruto must go. Caswell McCall right now has now shifted. So people are there to try and look for jobs. Traitors. We are not afraid to call those traitors. You think that by doing these that you are going to shut down other people's mouth, but now see how it has turned. You are so happy. Of course, we were supporting that the deputy president be impeached. But again, we were not supporting only him to be impeached. We were supporting both of them to go home, including the MPs, the MPs, all of them. And by the way, have you realized even when I'm doing my videos, I never refer to them as honorable, because there is nothing honorable about the MPs that we have. You tell me, what honorable thing do we have? This is one thing that we call in Swahili, mchimba kisima huingia mwenyewe. They dug a grave for the deputy president with the accusations that they leveled against him, forgetting that the same accusations they are leveling against Gachagua are the things they should be also leveling against the president himself. That is the master of deception here in Kenya. And by the way, he's now taking his deception internationally. By the way, Mr. President, let me tell you one thing. I might be just a human being, somebody around somewhere with nothing. You might be somebody somewhere with something. But can I tell you something, Mr. President? The years that you've lived in this country and the years that you are left with, you've lived for a very long time. You cannot live the same number of years that you already have. So each and every day, you are nearing to your grave. You should be onto your knees asking for forgiveness, seeking and begging Kenyans to forgive you and also the Almighty. Day in, day out, you are nearing towards your grave. You should be regretting. You should be shedding tears. You see, the same way, Mr. President, you did kneel down in the church as you were seeking sympathy for the wrongdoings that the then President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta did for you in the past regime. That is the same kneeling you should be doing in terms of seeking for forgiveness. You've deceived Kenyans for a long time. You've stolen from Kenyans. And we are not stopping you. Whatever happened yesterday, as Morara Kebaso was to address the people, as he was to give his opinion, was so uncalled for. And we cannot sit down and pretend everything is all right while we know there's a constitution supporting the freedom of speech, freedom of expression. We have Articles 33, Articles 34 and 35 of the Constitution. We cannot put a blind eye on these. Things should change for good. And then, you see, they are now trying to change the presidential term from the normal 5-year term to 7-year term. We are not fools. We are tired of you guys. Iwapo umeshindwa kufanya kazi ni vyema, basi muweze mkunja vilago vyenu na kuelekea kule nyumbani. Mwache vijana ambao wanaweza wakaendesha nchi kwa njia inayofaa wafanikishe. Hatuna upungufu wote. Tunaweza tukachukua usukani, tukaweza kuendesha nchi katika njia ambayo inawezekana. Tukafuata katiba, tukafuata sheria kwa njia ambazo zinawezekana. Ule mswada mlioleta nafasi ya wananchi kuweza kutoa maoni yao kuhusiana na mswada wa kuweza kumng'atua mamlakani naibu wa rais. Mbona mjakuwa mkifanya kitu kama hicho tangia kitambo? Sasa hivi ndio mmeweza kuona umuhimu. So ina maana nyinyi mkiwa na shida mnakimbilia wananchi, na wananchi wakiwa na shida watakimbilia wapi? When you have something and you want to push it through, you need the support of the polity. But when it comes to the polity seeking your support, you run away in your big vehicles. I'm so disappointed in you leaders. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in Dab Radio. If you're watching from our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press the notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. If you're watching from our Facebook, kindly follow our Facebook page for regular updates. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Dab Radio ndio mpango mzima.